The sea breeze in your hair works its way through your skin and bones to relieve you of the sensation. Tending to the crops is hard work, even with earth bending. The family is grateful for your effort and does what they can to pitch in. The crosstalk of your family members reminds you of what being content is. And your needs are still small on the grand scale. And it is a simple life, but it is also a contented one. But far on the horizon, you see a great mist coming from the direction of Chameleon Bay. It is dark and ominous, a cloud of pure darkness. Your heart beats faster as you sense the doom that marches towards your family. The eyes of a farmer can see many things. When a crop is ready for harvest, potential thieves, but they cannot perceive the veil. They cannot pierce the veil of terror ahead. You scream. You begin to warn your siblings, which cannot hear you. Your hands pass through them like a spirit. All you can do is watch. Watch as darkness marches on. And then you wake up. The flight out from Lao Shai is, I want to say, relatively peaceful. The small town that you helped and then subsequently ran away from when some Fire Nation members managed to find you is likely better off from where you left it. It's going to be a bit of a rough journey all the way to the Air Temple. Even on Flying Bison, it's going to take a better part of it, maybe 2 days. Again, since you have the luck of having a Flying Bison, it's still going to take you about 2 days just to get to the base of the mountain. And then just a few hours up the mountain. The Northern Air Temple is one of the few places that is actually connected to the Earth Kingdom. What do you do to pass the time?
Did I just wake up from that dream while we're flying?
Yeah. You just woke up.
I am sweating. I'm sweating and breathing like... Okay.
Sleeping okay?
No. But it's fine.
I'm assuming you don't want to talk about it?
Just a bad dream with some darkness over the horizon. So... What have I missed?
We're still in the air.
The breeze is nice. For those of you that are unfamiliar with riding on Sky Bison, which is all of you, aside from Tempest, it is jarring and potentially a very freeing experience. Even if you have your sea legs, nothing quite compares.
Yeah. I imagine Ty is getting a little sick. But he's going to take his mind off it by trying to punkify his ancient earthbender robes, tearing off like sleeves and stuff.
Yeah.
Make it more his style.
What is your plan going into this? You gather you will likely have to stop at least once or twice. Flying straight on through evenings isn't really that good of an idea. Sky Bisons are good, but they're not that good. There was once a bustling village at the base of the mountain range, where the airbenders used to tend to passers-by.
I feel like we should just, stay on the outskirts to make sure that there's no firebenders left.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Then over the next couple days, it is a bit of an awkward silence. You're still getting to know each other. You're still figuring out how things work. And also for those of you who are not quite as flight inclined, it gets sketchy.
Yeah.
Puke
There
at least once, if not more.
Restless nights.
Probably.
Sushi, but you do not immediately suffer another dream.
Woo! That's good. Because damn.
Restless, but not miserable. Which I assume we would take.
Yeah.
In the distance, you can see the familiar the familiar mountain shape that would begin to make up the temple get closer and closer and closer. Beitong Dao, many hundreds of years ago, was a city on the rise. It was in between Ba Sing Se and the coastal city of Bin It housed a lot of people who were trying to get out of Bin but then started to actually grow as a contented city. People used to live as air nomads even when they were not airbenders. Some years ago, long before you, it sort of collapsed under the weight of its own success, unable to sustain itself. But there were still some people who wished to learn the ways of monks and live among them. It was a generally peaceful city. And as you come down and get the clouds out of your eyes, you can smell dust from the rubble below. Still heavy, even after the comet came, we're coming up on a week now. The firebenders were thorough in their assault. Buildings and huts are burnt to a crisp, and trails of smoke still float into the clouds from embers that have not yet had their fill. The city of Beitong Dao was not full of airbenders, but had once been housed by people who sought to live under their teachings. And fire has no mercy, for kindling is kindling, no matter the history. Sacred statues built by earlier nomads are in ruins, and the hospital by which the city was founded is all but ash. Several metal monsters have begun a long climb up the mountain, incredibly, utilizing grappling hooks, platinum chains from the front and back of the vessel, entirely vertical, in order to orient themselves to the side of the mountain. Their spokes dig into the earth, tearing away thousands of years of growth and development.
Well, there's our answer on whether or not they're still here.
Yep.
What do you feel, Tempest?
It's hard to come back.
So you said there are like machines currently moving up the mountain?
There are tanks, yes. Spokes on their wheels, platinum grappling hooks, keeping them close to the mountain itself, going straight up it.
Yeah. So they're not just still here, they are still here in force.
They're still sieging.
Is there smoke coming from the temple itself at the top?
It's hard to tell from here. The temple is so high up, it was originally assumed that only air nomads could get to their temples. That's why they felt so safe. They did not have a formal military.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Well, only to see if there's any still there for sure. Up.
We'd have to be very careful. Otherwise, we'd be.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? What is the driver doing?
Yeah.
Sure, that's up to Tempest.
Up.
It is
I
approaching.
feel like
Sorry, continue.
feel like we should stay out of the sights. If Hama's smart, she would have found a way.
Could you repeat that, please?
I said Palma's smart. She would have found a way to get away. So if she's anywhere, it'll be on the outskirts, not where they are.
So maybe like down here.
Yeah, I mean we could circle the base.
And if she's up there and the tanks get there first.
Dan, would I know if there's like any reason why they'd be going up there?
To get to the air temple. Beitong Dao is at the base of the mountain, well, of the mountain range that the air temple is attached to.
Okay, hold up. Time out. Because I thought, maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but I thought Shu said that she was captured, like she was in a dungeon.
Shu recounted knowing that they were looking for those that fit
Okay.
a description. And if she did fit a description, he knows that there were attempts to capture people like that.
So not for sure. Okay.
Unsure.
Cool.
He, at the end of the day, to your knowledge, Shu was just a grunt.
Why would they be sending tanks up to the top, though, if there wasn't a strong need for a military presence?
The only reason I can think of would be to just absolutely destroy the temple. Which
After
I
all
wouldn't
the
put it
comet's
past
gone.
them. That's the only one I can think of, but who knows? I'm not that high up.
I don't like the idea of going up with tanks up there.
I also don't like that idea. I think maybe
If they were blinded, would they stop?
they might wait, they might pause.
Like a
You guys want
sandstorm.
You guys want a smoke
Yeah.
screen?
So the best you'd be able to achieve would be a sand screen, not really a smoke screen.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Would you be looking to cover Munch and his passengers? Is that what you're trying to do?
I could do that, except I feel like that would be really conspicuous, a moving.
So the
Sand
Earth
screen.
is very... To have that level of fine control over Earth that is so far away from you that you aren't connected to physically.
Yeah,
would
I'd have
not
to be on the
easy.
ground.
You'd need to either be
Yeah.
on the ground or you need to be much closer to it. While you are
Yeah.
a skilled bender, even the Avatar might have problems controlling a sandstorm that far away.
Yeah, no worries.
Mhm.
Yeah, I figured as much. Like,
Yeah.
I know the risks in doing this, which is why I'm pitching it to the rest of the group first.
There are, for what it's worth, you do also see tanks coming down. Like they're kind of patrolling. Like there are shifts going on,
Mm.
if that is helpful.
Still looking.
Looking for stragglers.
Okay, so they're still looking. So maybe your friend did find a place to hide.
I hope so. Do Do you say that they're like actually in the air temple, the tanks, or are they just making their way up?
They're making their way up. You cannot see the inner workings of the air temple from where you are. Again, you're at like the base of the mountain range.
I might be able to go down and check it out. Fly back up here.
I think we should do that first. Because if we can find her there, great. And then we don't have to risk getting shot out of the sky.
Fair.
So if we don't have to risk it, I would rather not. So I think maybe we start where we will not actively be shot at.
Fair. And should you guys need a smoke screen, I can provide it, but those hooks have to be anchored somewhere. And if they're pulled out of the anchor while they're going up the mountain, tank falls. Brought out of commission.
It's a good point.
You see a pretty little flock of gyre finches kind of circling the area and making their way up to the air temple. Perhaps there is hope to be had.
If we're going to do any flying closer than the ruins, we should do it at night.
Fair.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So what is the plan?
Are there trees nearby we can,
Yeah,
like...
there's some trees.
Okay,
Kind of sparsely
Yeah.
populated, but there are some trees.
cool. We need a place to park Mooch. At least until
Place
night.
to park, Mooch.
You find a spot that you are relatively sure is away from prying eyes. You park the air bison in parallel. I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
Nice.
You hide Mooch. Yeah, nice job.
Okay. Are there any places where you think she might be hiding?
I don't know, DM. Is there anywhere that we'd like to go together?
Beitong Dao is still run by the air nomads, so if you're looking for a place to go and find solace, this isn't a great place for it. There's more worldly people who tend to like traverse the place, so but because of its recent downsizing over the years, down by some of the abandoned huts might be a good place to start.
Yeah, there's some abandoned huts that we used to go down on our days off. She might go. It's pretty secluded.
It's like as good a spot as any to start. Worst case
Great question.
scenario, maybe where we camp for a bit.
Yeah. Move in a group or split into teams?
I think we should all go together.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't know what we
Tempest.
look, who we are.
Tempest is the only one who knows what she
Yeah.
looks like and is the only one who
True.
knows her.
She saw the rest of us. She might hide, continue to hide.
Yeah.
that's fair.
Agreed.
Beitong Dao is in ruins. It was already kind of a sad sight 10 years ago. It didn't get helped by a bunch of meteors getting the equivalent of like fire meteors getting chucked into them at the same time. You hide amongst the rubble. There are firebenders here. There are members of the Fire Nation army. You see tanks come down from the mountain and orient themselves back on a more human horizontal landscape. And you see some of like their mechanics run up and like attune to it, and people get out and start talking. After a long day of, I don't know, oppressing the populace, they like to chat a little bit.
That's what I like to do after a long day. Oh, I am absolutely. Like, I am over making sure that that hood is up. My face is covered.
I'm gonna be praying to the spirits for guidance and keeping us safe.
Looking around, you see what was once a hut that you might have visited once or twice. It is simply no longer there. Only the smell of smoke. You do not find any immediate signs on the outskirts of your friend.
You have to keep looking.
Of course.
She could be long gone by. But if she's alive, I'd never be able to.
So we're still set on going up with the tanks. Cool.
Like I said, can provide a smoke screen if y'all need it.
Let's wait till nightfall.
Okay.
Over the afternoon into the evening, you watch and wait. You hide in your little outcropping of trees. You hear some horses from out of the city arrive. Two well-dressed men in Fire Nation's sage regalia. You can't really make out what they're saying, but one of them definitely seems to be the more imperious of the two, as they just kind of unstick themselves from their saddles after a long day of riding. Horses, ostrich horses, Earth Kingdom. We gotta keep the fiction bastard animals. We gotta give them due. You watch them just talk a little bit and then go up to one of the tanks and then are directed somewhere else to watch. But aside from that, there isn't a lot that happens over the night. Did any of you sleep or nap or anything before doing this?
I just kind of wanted to watch, see if I could get a sense of like patrol routes, shift changes, that kind of thing.
Right at sundown, right as half of the sun is missing, is when the patrol seems to change. As far as patrol routes, all you see is some come up, some come down, all by way of tank.
But none like in this little broken down village. There's
You
no. Okay.
seem to hit, like, the village is more or less just like a landing place for troops.
Okay. Fair enough.
Do any of you sleep or rest or prepare? What do you do for this?
Can I just kind of like explore around this ruined area? Anything of note?
Aside from the different huts and buildings, there's this old tea house that was once probably used by the citizens in order to feel better about themselves. There's, in the distance, there is this, what must have been this beautiful hospital. You see these different air nomads in like stone, immortalized and destroyed along the sides of the mountain slopes. You get a better look at some of the men in like Fire Nation regalia, and they definitely are confirmed to be fire sages. There is no one else who wears that ridiculous of a hat. Aside from that, not too much. Whatever they're doing, they're waiting for sunrise.
Mm.
Why would sages be here?
Good question.
Okay. Let's take a little bit more time kind of walking through the ruined space, and then I'll return.
Mhm. If that is all.
Just praying, looking for signs from the spirits.
Signs from the spirits. Which spirits?
Any that might be in the area.
How would you like to search for signs? What are you looking for? The spirits are vast and varied and just all their own thing. They don't leave the same sorts of traces.
Yeah. I'm specifically looking for guidance as to where this friend of Tempest's might be.
You'd have to seek out a spirit and try and gain its wisdom. This isn't like spirits aren't really gods, in that you can just like pray for help on occasion. So like it's a little more specific.
Okay.
You don't know enough about this region.
Yeah. Okay.
In the dark shadows that make up your family legacy, Zushi, stand around, unaware of what will soon befall them. The mist has taken in the entire horizon and encircled the farm, waiting to devour it whole. No one else has appeared to help the ones you love, and you cannot stand aside while catastrophe comes. It is not your job, but you will intervene to save what is sacred. The shades that represent your charges stand around without a care in the world when you see them. One with glowing eyes and a glowing arrow. This child will be a target. They must be protected. From the mist, an airbender appears, looking for them, just as you feared. You cover the child in a shawl and hide them amongst their siblings, and you are left to answer the airbender's questions before you wake up from your little nap.
Was the airbender kid in the dream in the place of one of my siblings?
Presumably. As the dream kind of progressed, while to you they were your siblings represented, you sense that there's might be something more.
Did I recognize them? Did they like stop
They're
looking
just,
like my siblings?
Dark shadows, the silhouettes of your siblings, representing things you cared about.
Ah, I see. Do I remember what the airbender asked me in the dream?
No. The only things you could... It's one of those things where you know things that happened in the dream in spite of never seeing them.
I feel that.
Asking you where your sibling is. Asking you their identity. Who will be next?
I see. I'm probably just like very pensive. And I'll probably just kind of sit in silence until we are ready to go up.
Then it's on your leave, everybody.
Whenever Tempest gives us the go.
Yep.
And I'm ready if you guys are.
Let's go.
You hear from Munch.
Alrighty.
You begin your ascent up the mountain is under the cover of night and the clouds around you. For all of the rubble that invaded your senses, the summit, it is something else. A once great set of points from the temple can still be seen through the smoke and shadow. The once clear mountain air is marred by the stench of flesh and diesel. Below are more of the tanks you saw from Beitong Dao and many more firebenders, easily numbering in the double digits. They are picking apart the temple for things, valuables, texts, and such, ransacking ancient places and demolishing sacred sanctuaries. Everywhere that you once called home just a few weeks ago is overrun with strangers and things that should have never been in contact with the air nomads. Worldly, awful, terrible things.
Doing just like a quick scan, is there anywhere around that looks less occupied?
Populated?
Yeah.
There are plenty of places that firebenders simply cannot get, especially now that their immediate siege is over. Being from this air temple once upon a time, you could probably find some place, not immediately in the temple, but on the side of a cliff overlooking it. That would probably be safer and is not being actively patrolled by firebenders. If that is indeed what you're looking to do. You are on a giant fuzzy target.
So what's the play here?
Yeah.
If we try to land, we're dead.
We can't let them see Mooch either.
I could park you guys kind of somewhere close. I'll fly in there. I don't know how I'm going to get you guys in there without them noticing.
Because even with the sandstorm, it'd be pretty noticeable.
Do you think we might be able to potentially... I could try earthbending us up the wall or through a tunnel, so underneath where they are, because they're not expecting tunnels at an air temple.
That would be a lot less noticeable.
Could work.
We just have to start far enough down that they don't hear the beginning of it.
And be out of sight of any of the patrolling tanks.
Exactly.
Well, the tanks are pretty loud, so we might be all right on that
Right, it's more just making sure we're not seen by them.
scene.
Mm-hmm.
Because tank on the ground, already a hard fight. Tank while we're in the air, and basically two of us are down, less so. Or
Yeah.
more so.
I think if we use the tunnel too, we could use just a small dust storm to hide the entrance while we get it set up, and then we can close it behind us.
Yep.
and then just shift the earth as we spiral up.
True. I won't be able to make a dust cloud until we're close enough to where I can pull Earth from.
Mhm.
But once we're there, we can do it.
Be the best plan, but might be the best one we have.
Yeah.
So if that works for you, Tempest.
It's fine with me.
Okay.
Let's do it.
If I'm correct, you want to fly down with Moonch to a site that the firebenders aren't immediately patrolling through. You want to make a tunnel up into the temple.
Yes.
You fly Moonch down, and he remains even, parallel, feeling at home in this space, even in spite of everything. With your combined efforts with earthbending, you make a hole. It gets bigger and bigger
hole.
and bigger. Large enough to fit the lot of you through, with the possibility to simply keep pushing.
Cool. Keep making our way through and up.
Mhm.
For fun. Rely
That's
on
never
your
good.
skills and training.
Rely on skills and training. You got
You
it.
are digging up a mountain in one you've never been to before, finding a structure you've never been, trying to avoid the
Yeah.
sight of people you can't see.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
No problem.
Ooh. I got a 6.
Ooh. Rely on skills and training is what again? Sorry.
Focus.
Focus.
Focus. Okay. That's going to be a 10.
We'll say it balances out.
Sick.
You meet your way up into this dark room. There's this weird amount of pressure that was resisting you, but you're earthbending, it's nothing. This might have once been a meditation space, someplace dark and separate from the rest of the temple, that housed no candles, no nothing, simply a place to be and nothing else. There is a door that leads out that is also dark with no candlelight behind it.
All right. Now that we're up here, Tempest, you take the lead. Where do we go? Where do we look?
Start with everyone's living quarters. Make our way up.
Okay.
Okay.
Tempest, I'm just gonna give this to you because you're kind of a native. You recognize this room. And you remember the reason that the monks never brought candles down here. Inside the mountain is a pocket of noxious gas. It was sealed off a while ago. Now, there's a hole in the side of the mountain, and there's a door ahead of you. As long as you don't light any matches, you should be fine, but you're reminded of this, and probably should not stick around for too long. Or breathe in most of it.
Okay. I will noodles that to everybody.
The second
Dangerous
you see
room.
the room, you immediately close your
Yep.
mouth and nose.
These
Yep.
robes, these robes are coming in real handy.
Just pull my face mask up.
R2.
Probably
Why not?
not best that we get into a fight with a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least not
Let's-
down here.
Yeah, let's get out of this room.
Yeah. Does the door open?
Yeah.
Easily or okay. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you go to touch it, and the door simply falls down. Weakened by the state of affairs above.
Okay. through.
Kind of lead him out, and we'll go directly to Palma's room.
Getting there into the cloister area is not going to be easy unseen. The second you get all the way to the door after the spiral staircase that leads up, you almost open the door and a firebender passes by you with their hand ignited in flame.
Can I just kind of poke my head out, look around? Does
Yeah.
seem to be like anyone else nearby?
No, it seems that they have the actual patrols rather lax, but there are patrols.
Okay.
Okay.
Here is where we may need to split up a little bit.
Okay.
Meaning, Tempest, you're taking point. 1 or 2 other people go with you, and then the others will just follow slightly behind. So, like, go a little bit, like, down the hall, and then wait. And then we'll catch up, and then we'll... little chunks at a time.
Mhm.
Okay.
First group.
Be Tempest. Who else?
You exit the
We'll
safety
go.
of the
Unless-
staircase. Who's going with Tempest?
It's like, unless we want to go one at a time.
You
Mhm.
follow Tempest outside of the room, and staggered. The rest of you follow in your little groups. He takes you around these back directions. There are a few different ways to get to the cloisters, but 3 of them have been blocked by stationed firebenders, looking along the wall and rifling through the bodies of your people for valuables. The stench, especially this close, and to an air nomad who has been trained to open the paths of air, is particularly offensive to the senses. Nevertheless, you do find a way to airbend your way into the cloister area without being seen, but that, of course, leaves your friends.
We can keep watch down here.
So, like,
You're
communicate?
left on this,
Like,
for your eyes, you are left into this hallway, into the side of this one building that was once sheltered, but the ceiling has since been blown off by some unknown force. From here, you can see down the mountain. You're surrounded by clouds, and you see along the wall, which Tempest can kind of airbend and hop on to get to the cloister above and ahead.
Okay. Am I able to, like, rock climb along the side? Or no?
You'd
Is it
have
too sheer?
to push your luck.
Push my luck.
I like the idea of like jutting out like little steps.
Yeah.
Say here, can
Oh,
you, like,
walls.
earthbend us some, like,
Yeah,
handholds or
earthbend.
something?
Mhm.
Earthbend some little stairs or handholds.
If you want to earthbend stairs, it's not a roll.
Okay.
If you want to
I-
just rock climb, that's a roll.
Okay. Yeah.
Earthbend.
I'll earthbend. Is it gonna create a lot of noise?
Unknown. In the middle
If
of
it's
night.
just tiny,
Yeah.
like if we're just doing
Yeah,
like,
that's why I said, like,
things-
footholds
Yeah.
and handholds.
what holds and handholds. Less
Yeah.
like mass movement. I might.
Yeah.
use that.
yeah, no big stairs, but little tiny things
Yeah, I think that's
that we
what
can
I'm
use to
gonna do.
climb.
Little stairs erupt out of the side of the earth with little clinks following Tempest, albeit much more slowly, considering you have no railing.
Yeah.
There is a breeze.
It's fine.
It is uncomfortable. Tempest is the first to arrive on top of on top of the housing area. And you find your room almost entirely untouched. The rest cannot be said. The same cannot be said for the rest. You get the sense it was probably by sheer luck that occurred. If you'll remember, there was this large cave-in when the incident took place, and so you find yourself having to navigate around the earth and the fallen debris. You go over to Pama's room, which was partially consumed by that, and you don't find anything. But you do find a staff broken in two on the ground at the foot of her bed. Well, what once would have been her bed.
I'm gonna pick up her staff and carry it with me.
A few pieces of the past. The rest of you join him, and you see Tempest going through different rooms. These small cloisters are not meant to do more than house someone for sleep and have a desk to write on. So there really isn't many places to look. Even while you're looking around, you pass Master Puen's room, his office. It's a little bigger than most, but that is because he was also the abbot of the Northern Air Temple, and so did a bunch of administrative duties as well. Which I don't want to say is untouched. It has its share of destruction, but there are like a lot of papers that were reduced to ash. Shredded pieces that you could try and put together, or just you don't know what you're looking for. What do you do? None of
You
your
said we
own
pretty much
question.
searched everywhere.
Pretty much. Like there's a few rooms you want to search every room thoroughly.
Yeah, might as well, as long as we could stay
Every room
out of
that you
sight.
can. You come up to you search your room just to see if anyone ran in to hide in it. You search Pama, your friends, the different people that came and went. Nothing. You even go into Master Puen's office, and you just find scattered pieces of notes and a description of you with his stamp on it. But the rest of the note is ash.
I like pick it up. I'm gonna keep it on me. I'm not gonna read it now because danger, but
Yeah.
I want to read it later.
Yeah. There's plenty of other letters and stuff you can try and go through, except the problem is they've all been incinerated. They are rather thorough with this place.
I'm not sure if there's anywhere else here. But I do have an idea.
Oh.
Just kind of like show her a lighter. Mooch has a pretty strong nose.
We can see if he could track.
Chat.
What do you want to do about this place?
Is there anything?
In the back of Master Poin's study, you see an image of the legendary guru Lahima. And it is in this ironic time that you see one of his more famous quotes that perhaps didn't age perfectly. New growth cannot exist without first the destruction of the old.
I was literally about to say, we could blow this place sky high. That would completely destroy the temple.
Oh, you read my mind, Yuka.
It might
So I
also
was-
dislodge the tanks, send them crashing down.
Well, that's what I mean. It would absolutely get rid of the last of the Fire Nation soldiers here, but it will destroy the temple. There will be nothing. It's extreme, and I'm not saying you should do it. I am just saying it is a possibility. But if
Fuck
you
it.
just want to go, we can just go. We can just fly off, leave them to whatever they're looking for.
Just do it.
All right.
Okay. Let's get to a relatively safe distance first.
From what you know of the pocket beneath the temple, it's not going to blow the temple off the side of the mountain. There is a place for the gas to escape, especially with the hole that you just put in it. But it will cause a very large boom.
Yeah, at least be able to get us a chance to get out.
It'll definitely cover her escape.
Yep.
But I'm leaving that up to you. Tempest, this is your thing, your place. I'm not just gonna blow it up just 'cause.
I was never too fond of this anyway. It's sacred to the air notes, but I never quite felt.
I understand. I completely get it. All right. Let's get back to Mooch at least.
So that does bring up the question of who's sparking it. Okay.
I would say our firebender, yeah.
Yeah, I just. Oh, right, that's only one of you. Never mind.
But yeah, but it's since you've given us the okay, Tempest, I don't think there's anyone else left here at this point. So
except people who don't deserve to be here. So
exactly, and they're not going to expect if there's a big explosion, they're not going to expect 2 earthbenders, an airbender, a fire in a single firebender to be the cause.
Yeah.
all right, let's do this.
Yep. So, grab Munchin. We'll be
Go
waiting.
way back down. Get like Mooch ready for takeoff.
Yep.
You go back down the steps.
We could
and you-
probably. Oh, I was just saying we could probably, with our earthbending, we could make, like as we're going down, kind of what would be a direct shot. Just kind of carving out a little bit of space as we go
I
down.
understand. Yeah, you want to make it easier for the shot. I gotcha.
Mhm.
You go back down the stairs that you invented, and they crumble under the last person's weight to remove the evidence. When both Zushi and Tempest, you hear clear as a bell.
No.
Please. Stop. Coming from above and all around you. You see a Geyer finch, this high altitude bird, look distantly as it repeats itself. Not looking at you, but up towards something, and in the distance, shut up, Bukurai! You hear the commotion of another tank kind of cresting the edge of the mountain. And you hear just this back and forth between... Jason, it's a spirit. I don't know if this is very wise. It will be wise when we get our due, don't you think? Besides, this place will be a crater come the morning. Who cares? This might be the way we find the Avatar.
Who all hears this?
You all do. In the middle of an empty mountain, where vibrations echo freely, it is very easy to hear without sound deadening bodies, so to speak.
Yeah, Kane's gonna clench his jaw. He doesn't know what's happening, but I'm assuming that's not shit he wants. I'm gonna try and find the source of it.
Kane breaks off from the group. You're able to earthbend and keep yourself kind of sliding between the cracks. You see him disappear further into the temple.
Okay.
No, I mean you. They see you disappear further into the temple.
Oh.
You see more Geyer finches kind of flocking inward. And the two fire sages that you saw from before step out of their tanks and run after them. You, with me. Directs to one of the firebenders.
Oh, he's gonna get himself killed.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just you're like, where is he going? We need to go.
Jason, I don't know about this.
I'm
Is it
gonna
really
go
worth it?
after him.
Okay, go after him.
Wait, you can.
Are we still up? I thought we were down at the bottom of the mountain at this point because we walked down the stairs.
No. So you have the cloister where you guys were with Tempest's room. You walked down to a
Yeah.
different level, which is kind of where you've been winding behind to that one building that had its top knocked off. And then you have to go a little further down in order to get down to the basement where you came from.
Okay, I was confused. I was like, where the heck is...
There is
I'm
a
like,
middle
what is
place.
happening?
Yeah.
There is a middle
Okay,
place.
I just... Okay.
Yeah,
That makes more
I'm gonna
sense.
go
I was
after him, and-
confused in my brain.
And like once I find him, I'm gonna just like kind of come up and like grab his shoulder. What are you doing? We need to go.
And leave the spirits to whatever they're doing.
It'll stop whatever they're doing. We're literally about to stop whatever they're about to do.
And do you not care about the spirits at all?
What if they're gonna be torturing some spirit? If we stop this, it doesn't happen. Whatever they're doing, talking to a spirit, it doesn't sound good.
You may not know the worth of spirits. I do. And whatever they're doing to it ain't good.
Yeah, and we're about to stop it. So let's go.
And if it doesn't, if they just continue afterward,
How would they continue afterward? They're gonna be incinerated.
For context, you don't know that.
Yep.
It will make a big boom. It's not going to light the whole damn temple on fire.
Well, if it's a big boom and there's an explosion, I imagine there's going to be some rubble falling and
Some
caving
rubble.
in.
You're not going to blow up the entire temple, is what I'm saying. There will be a temple here when you're done.
Oh, from how you sounded, it was gonna. Well, still,
So
they're gonna be
Leave
a
it
little
to
more
whatever they
concerned
do.
with what the fuck the explosion was than whatever.
if it was
you-
Kai, would you go? If it was Kai that they got and were torturing, would you leave?
Who?
You mean Ty?
Ty, sorry.
I was like, who?
Shit.
And out of curiosity, are we asking people to live up to their principles?
Possibly if that works with one of the principles.
No, I'm just asking.
Oh,
Yes.
No.
Because you have to know them.
I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. I wanted to know. I was just curious.
Yeah,
I
don't
wanted to know if you were doing a balance move or not.
I mean, one of the balance moves is figuring out principles, which I think that fits here. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck. Which one is that? Sorry, it's been a bit since I've looked at the balance. Okay.
You can call them out, but you have to name the principle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I thought one of them.
I always forget because I think one of them is one thing and it's not.
Yeah, one of them I thought helped me figure out what their
Not that I'm aware of.
principles.
Although I think Yuka does know your principles and can try to do that for you.
Yeah, true.
I don't think I do.
Then never mind.
All right, yeah, then yeah, I just say that, and if nothing happens, I'm just gonna say, look, I get it. You don't care about the spirits. If you feel like you guys need to leave me here. But I'm
You're
not
going
letting.
to get yourself killed. I thought we were all on board to help Tempest here. Are you really willing to go on this solo mission and abandon him?
Does Ty catch up at this point?
Yeah, you probably would have waited for a little bit, and then when they didn't come back right away, then like, oh, why did I decide to make friends with Yuka? And just follow after her.
Question he's been asking himself every damn day.
So left behind right now is me and Tempest, like,
What do you do?
Probably arriving, seeing them in the middle of an argument.
And then you hear the Geyer finches above in a chorus of repeated phrases. Stop. Stop.
What are we doing? Why are we here?
That's a great question.
They're torturing a spirit, and this one doesn't care. I assume you also don't care.
We don't.
That is a very sweeping assumption. We're gonna die if we stay here.
Yukurai, hand me the jar. Okay. You hear the sages from deeper within echo their orders to each other.
So we just leave it to its fate.
What are you hoping to accomplish?
If we save a spirit, it can aid us, or at least keep this place safe. If we
What do you
don't,
mean keep it safe?
Because it's done such a good job of that so far.
so then what? We just leave and let it die. Or let them get a hold of it. They're saying it can help them find the avatar.
get it. You want to help the spirit. What if we all die? One thing goes wrong. Without a backup plan in place for us to get out of here, all the firebenders on top of this temple are coming crashing down on us. One misthrown rock. One firebolt goes off into the sky. One scream. Whole place.
That's it.
Straight
We're
to
done.
us.
So, we can either walk away now, potentially leaving a single spirit, we don't know what's going on, or we can live to fight another day and help who knows how many others.
It was never supposed to be this way. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Look. We agreed that we were going to help Tempest. This is not the way to do it. It's horrible, I know, but we can't jeopardize the other promise we made for this. I'd like to call out Kane for restraint.
Oh!
Yeah. Yeah.
Got him!
I mean, I'm gonna resist, but it's not gonna be like a great bonus for me. Resist.
So, let's see.
It's 2d6. Just tell me what you get the result, and we'll figure it out.
So do I roll or does Kane roll?
He's rolling. He's resisting. Actually, so this is kind of funny. You're calling someone out, but the book only references when an NPC is trying to shift your balance. So when you open the concept with the principle,
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, because you
okay.
don't roll dice, right? At all?
I do
DM?
not.
So that's what I wonder if
you're
that's
gonna
why.
roll. I was looking at a different thing. You're gonna roll. Name the
Okay.
principle, which you did.
Okay.
You're gonna shift your balance away from center.
Okay.
And then name and
Yes.
roll with their principle.
Okay. So what is my
is your
bonus to restraint right now?
To restraint, I'm 2 marks into results.
So it's a -2.
Yeah, it's a -2.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's not ideal.
Yeah.
Okay, not horrible though. That is an 8.
8.
So he can challenge your view of the world in turn. You can mark 1 fatigue, or they can shift your balance as they choose. So it's kind of you tried to get him to live up to a principle. I think
gotcha.
I'm interpreting this as you did not convince him, and instead he's giving you a talking to.
Yeah. That makes sense. Gosh, in case we go to combat, I don't want the fatigue. So, you can shift my balance.
You can say do you know his principles?
I forget.
Okay.
To be honest.
So then this will be an
That's
excellent
why I
lesson
wrote mine down.
to write them down. You can tell him to move it away or closer to center.
I'm gonna say away.
Okay.
Gotta start writing down everybody's principles. This is a dope ass mechanic. I fucking love this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, when does my character figure out someone's principle? And I don't think I've figured out anybody's principles at
It's
this
a
point.
little bit
so-
metagamey. It's a little bit on the
Yes.
metagamey side. You're gonna have to figure out. Anna will be able to figure out principles, and then Zushi will be able to act on them, and that kind of represents the
Oh.
idea that Zushi was simply paying attention to them.
So I can just sit here and be like, oh, well, so-and-so is an icon. So they're looking at the rules, these are their principles.
You are allowed to, yes. There is nothing that I can do to do that, because also, I can change those. I can homebrew an icon freely to have different principles.
Ooh.
Cool.
Nice.
I'm just trying to
So,
write them
I'll
all
say the
down
way-
as we figure them out. So, like, Canes, I just learned one is survival. Writing that down.
Well, one is restraint.
Oh, that's
Restraint.
what I meant. Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
restraint.
I remember one of Ty's is survival. I can't remember what the other one is, though.
Oh, but
Fucking.
Yeah.
can I tell him, because it was
Oh,
such
that's
a good
right.
moment in the first episode, because he acted you on it in that first episode.
Yeah, I pushed him
you are
towards
correct.
survival. That's why I remember
you-
that was one of them.
You pushed him for free.
Free?
So
Don't you want to be free?
my two.
That wasn't Kane.
So am I giving the two?
Oh, I'm getting a playbook mixed up. That's my bad. Do it just to
Okay.
fit.
Yeah. I remember it was survival that I was pushing
Yes.
toward.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
nope.
I was
So do
remembering
you
a different
still?
playbook. That's my bad.
So if you remember survival,
Yep.
the other, I'll just give it to you. It's fine. You played on them before.
Okay.
Survival and friendship.
Friendship.
So knowing that, do you want to move it closer to survival or friendship?
I'd say in this specific instance, it's probably toward friendship given the circumstances.
Okay.
Yeah.
That changes how he is going to react to whatever you say next by quite a lot.
Yeah. And it was like a mid success. So Kane's just gonna be like, fine. We'll go back. But I made a promise long ago to protect spirits, protect their interests when I can. I'm choosing to honor this one to break another.
Okay. Let's get out of here. We can continue this conversation another time.
Yeah. Yeah, Kane's like grinding his teeth as he's headed back.
All right,
What
cool.
does Zushi
Let's
and
make.
Tempest do during this time? You are, because Zushi is rather enamored with the Geyer Finch. There's something about it, and you are reminded of your dreams. A connection, a void that you felt earlier, like you were searching for something, but you didn't know what.
Am I looking for these birds?
You just notice them, because one did land, like, on a piece of rubble nearby, and you hear the things it's saying. You hear, "Stop. Please don't."
Since when do birds talk? I'm like, and I just turned to Tempest. I'm like, do the birds here always talk?
Not to your knowledge.
Did they? Okay. No. It's a little weird.
That is a little weird. I've got a familiar vibe about it.
A few of them kind of swirling around in the air temple. And you hear a chorus of, "Please don't. Stop. I'm sorry." And orders being barked by the fire sages.
Can we hear the fire sages from all the way over here where we are? Because I thought they got closer to
Make
here.
out what they did get closer. You can hear them because they're yelling. They're
Ah.
but you can't really make out what they're saying. You just hear like shocks of noise.
Mm.
And then hilariously a boop as someone opens a jar.
It's a loud jar.
Yep.
Let's go. We gotta get out of here.
I'm like,
The group gets
Hmm.
back together as you are kind of being quizzical, Zushi. You hurry back, and the path.
wait,
you
so
had-
real quick, so what is the feeling? Am I connecting it to the darkness in my dream?
You're connecting it to a couple sessions ago where you were around the Earth King, the Earth Sage outpost, where you felt
Mhm.
as though you were looking for something that you could not name, something innumerable, an empty feeling.
So I was looking for something empty.
You were looking for something, but you didn't know what.
I feel kind of dumb right now. But I also feel like Zushi probably feels kind of dumb right now, so it works out.
Wonderful. On your way back down to where from whence you came, your path is blocked by firebenders. One of them had the bright idea to sit down next to his post instead of continuing the patrol path.
Is it just one or how many?
There's one, but there is good view of like the courtyard. He has a flame, and he's just kind of peeking his head through the door, like, what's that?
The door of the explosiveness.
Well, it is like a hallway up, so it's not going to immediately ignite anything, probably.
How close are we to where we were originally?
Like down into like the basement.
Yeah, to where Tempest and Zushi are.
Oh, you guys have met up. You're
Yeah, no, we are.
Oh, I
Okay.
see.
Oh.
I
We have
understand.
met up. We are trying to get back.
I understand.
And you see the firebender. You see one of his friends come by, and they start chatting. It's like, I'm not used to the night shift, stuff like that. And they're just kind of going back and forth. They don't see any signs of going away anytime soon.
Well, things are about to get loud anyways. Can we just, one of you two, just block a stone them? Just send them flying over the edge?
I'm gonna do that.
Might as well.
I don't know, man. I'm just having a really hard time with my girlfriend. It's been one of those days where I just feel like things are coming out of nowhere, and then you hear a as they're both shoved across the courtyard. And the other guy who was not sitting right next to him is like,
Go.
Go, 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 go.
I know what you mean. Who also gets shoved with another block of stone.
And we're going.
And we going.
You run down the hallway, covering your nose and your mouth, into the darkness, and all the way down the hole that you dug. Munch, ever the getaway driver, is waiting exactly where you told him to.
Let's hop on.
All right.
You get
Everybody
onto
on.
You get onto the fuzzy monster, and as you ascend, what are you doing?
Chucking fireball right down that hallway.
You chuck a fireball down the hallway, and there is this first very disappointing, and then it ignites the core of the chamber, and there is this massive explosion on the side of the hill. Some of the rubble almost threatens to take you out of the sky, but Munch is agile in spite of himself. You rise up, and you see a bunch of different firebenders start to make their way down into the towards the dungeon, see what's happening. They're looking around, but they are forgetting to look up. You see in the courtyard, the two fire sages have not broken from their task, and this tempest, LOL, of Geyer finches are encircling them over and over and over, and the sages cannot stop. You hear the one called Jai-san talking to one of the firebenders. We're under attack. I cannot stop this ritual. What do you do?
I'm guessing I can't feel the earth from this far.
Feel the earth. You'd have to get a little closer to actually bend anything meaningful.
Yeah.
Can
On
I
your
check
way-
another one at the fire sage? Or do I have to get closer?
You can. I'd have to make you roll for it just because the aim would have
I'll
to
do
be
it.
a little specific.
No, that's
While you're
fine.
rolling, you hear him.
What am I rolling?
pleading. Oh, I'm sorry, I totally forgot. You're gonna rely on your skills and training.
Hell yeah.
Honored spirit, we only come to preserve what remains, and you hear the lilted lullaby of all of the Gyre Sphinxes, wrapped in the remains of their bodies. Leave.
That's an 11.
Fuck yeah.
He begins
Yo!
to continue to play.
Focus
gotta
is my
stop
best
that
stat,
ritual.
y'all.
He has this jar. And you see him while he's talking, and the spirit is moving around. He tries to catch some in a jar, succeeds, and then he gets nailed with a fire blast onto his shoulder and falls down. He looks up into the spirits who are starting to get more and more restless, and he looks around and he sees the sky bison. He sees all of you. Keep him off me, idiot.
Does the jar
Okay.
break?
The jar does not break.
I'm just gonna be like, again.
The only one that really has any, without touching the ground or getting closer, the only one who has any agency in this is Tempest and Yuka.
I was gonna ask him, like, Tempest, can you, like, make the birds fly away with, like, a gust of air or something? And I'll work on the sage?
I mean, I could try. He's gonna bring the bison like down so he can get a better angle on it.
Are the birds in the way?
They're kind of encircling everything in this courtyard, like a flock.
I'm more of, like, hey, maybe if we, like, burst the circle, then the ritual.
You get the sense.
And the rich.
Okay. You do.
That's all I was trying to suggest. I don't know what Tempest is gonna do, but that
you
was
get the
just.
sense that when he says ritual, it's not like I drew a circle and there are candles and things are happening sort of thing. It's more like he's begging the spirit to do something. Like he's in negotiation. You don't think the spirit is tied to this place. It simply is here.
Okay.
What do you want to do? You know what? I'll do one better. As the villainous Earth Sages look up to you, readying themselves, and you begin combat with them, we are going to take a little break.
Ah.
Ugh.
We'll be right back.